Shall we play a game?
How about now? Can you hear me now? I'm getting levels, but I'm not getting any game audio anymore. Yes, I am. There was a Windows update yesterday that I have to say has shagged a lot of things, and it looked like it changed my device hierarchy. Alright, let's start getting this thing ready to roll. It's denied. Training section ahead. Really? That's an interesting message. Okay. Alright, reverser is in. Let's get it into forwards. Let's get the freight on the brakes. Let's get that starting to charge and put the independent on. It will take a while to charge the brakes. Let's get some headlights happening. We need some safety systems, don't we? I can't remember where they are in this thing. Up here, maybe? There we go. And you know what I didn't turn on before I did all of that? Let's just put the reverser back into there, because I've got a TPU. There we go. So let's put the reverser in. Hopefully that'll work. Now, I've just popped down to the back, because we're a long way away down the back. We're actually in the not playable area down here, but that's okay. So you can see it's going to take a little while before this train's ready, because she ain't charged. But that's okay. We'll let her charge up. See! Thank you for joining up again, mate. People can hear me now, that's good. Cactus Juice says don't use Windows Update, I just hardened my system in other ways. Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Yeah, this one did some really bad things, and it took me a little while to sort out my display as well. It started flickering like crazy. But anyway, let's leave that one charging up, but we'll fly along it for a little while. We have got the CSX CW840 thing. Yeah, that horn sounds a little bit better than the default one. So I do have some sound mods on that one. Disclosing. We won't be able to get all the way along this train, I don't think, because I think it leaves the playable area, but let's scoot as far down the train as we can. And the game's telling me to depart, but that'll be a little while, because we've got to charge up. Had I been smart, I would have charged it up before the stream, but, you know. This is reality with a train. If you've got something sitting in a yard, you might just have to charge the whole thing. So it's a good variety of stuff in this train, and this is as far as we can get, but we can cheat by going onto the back camera and coming forwards. Got some buffer cars there, surrounding some probably flammable liquid tankers. No, they're the same ones from 2021, I think. Rails, 2023 they were. But I've just put it on because I just don't like the way that loco sounds, but I wanted to drive it, so yeah, good-o. So there's a good variety, but there's something up here that made me want to do this one, and made Cactus Juice, who's in the chat, want to make it. Somewhere up here. Somewhere. I'd love to tell you I could see it, but, you know, I'm dreaming. Although, maybe I can. Maybe I can. Let's fly through all these signals. There it is. We've got a DPU. These things are so rare in the game that I had to play the service that's got a DPU in it, because it just seemed necessary. Let's see what it thinks the brakes are doing. See if it thinks they're charging or not. Window. Yep, brake pipe 72 at this point, so it's not too far off going, and it says 66 down the back, so we're not too far away from being able to move. Why is my reverse... Oh, I was about to say, why is my reverser in reverse? But of course it is, because this locomotive's going to go backwards. That would have been funny had I changed it. Better shut the window again or it'll get all wet. Alright, let's jump back in ours. We've got the window open. We're not going to go anywhere for a little while, so why don't we have a look around the neighbourhood. That looks like a route map, doesn't it? Let's go and do the route map. Of course you'd get out of your train and just wander away. Oh, can't go out that side. Keep forgetting. Okay, let's go. Anything coming? Nah. Splosh, splosh, splosh. Is there no climb up on this platform? That's a bit tedious. Can I climb up down here somewhere? I hope I can. Just got to be careful I don't trigger the scenario. Is there a climb up here? No, I don't want to run the scenario, but we got on the platform, so that's okay. Let's come on and get this route map. It's not a route map. Yes, it is. There it is. So this is our route for South Station. Doesn't really cover the freight line, I don't think, but that's where we'll be going. These are the Operation Lifesaver ads. Because, you know, people are getting squashed by trains again. Because train horns don't help. I wonder how our train's going. It's probably still charging. It'll be a little while. Let's go and visit some people. Hello. You hoping for a passenger train today? Oh, that's not what we're doing. Go and look at Worcester Station. Morning. How you doing? Hey, mate. What's so exciting up there? Aliens! It seemed necessary. Oh, it's these three guys again. They always seem to be having a chat. With Kane guy going, oh, my back hurts. My back really hurts. No, I don't want to give up control. Be quiet. Alright, I think that's it hinting that it wants me back in my train. Whee. It's probably not far off being ready to go anyway, so let's go and jump in. Benjamin's brain in a jar in the vertical stream. Hello there. Oh, look! The gantry's there. When did that turn up? I know we had a little update to this. I wonder if that included the gantry. Because it wasn't there. Oops, we should probably shut the door, shouldn't we? And jump in the big chair. How's our brakes doing? So we still have a massive amount of air movement on the gauge here. The AFM indicator. Which suggests that we're still not charged up down the back. So we're not going anywhere until that needle starts to drop downwards. So let's just have a look down the back. What have we got? 75. Oh, we're not too far off. The brake should probably start releasing soon. Even with only 75. These ones have not. Or have... Oh, no, they have. Look, they're not actually touching the wheels. Alright, we can probably try and move, but let's just do it gently, I think, because with the way things are, with it still pumping so much air into the train, we won't really be able to stop. So we're going to have to be careful. Be nice and gentle, because it is a freight train. Let it build some power, hopefully. Can it build some power? Oh, I know what I haven't done. I'm an idiot. Excuse me a moment while I un-idiot myself. How about the others? Yeah, they're fine. Alright, now that I've un-idioted myself, let's try that again. I hadn't told it to generate power. There we go, it's making power. So we'll give it that chance to build up and then release the independent brake. And now we just have to be really, really, really patient because it'll move forward about 10 millimeters. And then it'll just sit here for a little while. So we'll just be patient. It's okay. We'll kill the annoying bell though. Because, you know, while that's doing its thing, let's go flying over and look at this gantry. Because I did see that this was in the PlayStation and Xbox builds, but it was not in the PC build. So it appears it now is. That's good. Because, you know, this is a container yard and there's all these trailers sitting around ready to get used, but there was no way to actually load them before. And we've got our trailers up in the racks here. I have always been slightly curious about exactly how they get into the racks. And these ones actually get stood up, they're not, and put in there, so it must be a machine, because they're not just upended on this one. But anyway, it's always interesting. Don't know if we will have started moving yet. Sounds like it's having a go at it, but it's not quite doing it yet. Just going back through the chat, 101 says, good morning or evening, having a PC coming with 32 gig of RAM, RX 7900, 20 gigabytes of VRAM, and an AMD Ryzen 7800. What's your take for TrainSim World 5? That should be fine. I'm surprised you went for the AMD GPU, but it'll work fine. Michael is tired because he worked a 12.5 hour shift. Hello Florian, hello C. That train guy says, this is fun. Well, yeah, it's freight, be patient. Uberk says, yes, I saw your face TSD when you saw the DPU in the other live stream. Yes, indeed. That's why I wanted to come and find it. Michael says, week was anywhere from 9 to 12.5. Sounds like my firing shifts, they're 12. Florian says, is this Q3 at 436? Yes, it is. And could not complete this service near Framingham. So you're the second one that's said that. You can't help being late in this because you've got to charge the train. So we'll see how it goes. We have the right person here if there's an issue. Leon, hello. Dave, hello. Dave Blood's had the same problem. C says, fantastic ads. At least they're doing their bit. Yeah, that's the Operation Lifesaver ads. Uberg has an issue with signals on the route. It's a shame the train consists is simply amazing. Uberg says they perhaps forgot to add the signal glow. I don't know. I haven't really noticed, to be honest. They're kind of like they are in real life, because they're not a searchlight signal. Only searchlight signals get that kind of glow. 101. I know we've done that. Cactus purposely disabled the distant signal glow because it doesn't. Flashing light doesn't sync up when you get close. Train Spotter asks, what is my opinion on this route? Look, I quite like it. Boston Providence is, according to the stats, my most driven route, so I naturally quite like this one too. So, yeah. Uberk says, I have a particular passion for signals and signals lights. I always notice the signals. Well, I'm sure you can pop a mod on if you want to, Uberk. And Cactus Juice chatting about the signals as well. Pugface Media, hello. 101 asked, would it be good for 1440p Ultra settings? I would think so. I would think that PC would be fine for that. Have you got SSD storage, I hope, on the motherboard, preferably? Hello, Bad Guy 89, how are you? You're right, Rails. Bet you thought you'd never hear that, but you're right. But it's okay. And look at that, off we go. Thank you, C, pushing people to whack the like button. It actually does help. It gets more people into the stream. In the vertical stream, we have got Benjamin's Brain in a jar. We've got Aidan Thorne and Luke Kelly from Newey. Very good. And off we go now, finally. Because, you know, I hadn't opened a valve. Probably would have gone ages ago. But anyway, we're on the move. Just go out nice and gently, because we don't want to break any couplers. Not that this game does that, but, you know. Better late than never indeed, Luke Kelly. Better late than never indeed. So there's a huge variety of equipment used in this particular freight. Hello, the simulator guy. MA and NC Rail fan, hello to you as well. Rails says I need to be retrained to become a true engineer. Thank you, Rails. Cactus Juice says, distant glow aside, I hope you appreciate the visual appearance of the signals themselves. I put a lot of effort into making them appear correct. It's just for the other people in the chat, Cactus Juice is the one who put this timetable together and developed signals to make sure that they actually work properly and appear properly. So if you've got signaling questions or timetable questions, you've certainly got the right person in the chat to ask, and certainly appreciate you being here. My alerter, and I had better start reducing my power just a little. We'll keep it on notch 1. I am going a little bit fast, but we'll just pretend that's okay, because with a 0.5 gradient starting up, that won't last long. I'll just keep notch 1 on to keep the train stretched out, even though we are going too fast. But this train's not going to ping me. It's not going to go, hey, you're going too fast, you need to stop. Yes, Joe made this timetable, the simulator guy. They are a grand team. Joe was in the chat the other day. And it was him that saw a photo of this train, so he had to put it in. And I'm glad he did. And me telling you that speeding wasn't going to last long, it's already not lasting. So we're going to notch up. Rail driver, we're going to notch up. Thank you. For those who don't know, I use a Rail Driver desktop controller and mine is 20 years old, so it's getting just a tad floppy. You want the horn? Now just remember I am running a sound mod for this one. I'll drop a link into both chats. Luke in the vertical chat says they should make an Aussie map for Train Sim World. I think we'll probably have to convince a third-party developer to do that. I know Matt would love to because he did actually live here for a while. He lived in Sydney. But I don't know that it would have the sales necessary for a mainstream route. But a third-party provider could well get into it. And we are picking up rather a lot of speed because we're starting to go down gradient. Better get back in here and deal with this. Let's get into setup. Because I'm being naughty, but as you can see on the AFM, I still don't want to apply the brakes because I'm still charging. So we're going to use dynamics to control our speed. We're allowed to do 25 now anyway, so we'll just have a little bit of dynamics to hold things. That sounds quite nice with the sound mod. It's cutting out a little bit, but it sounds nice. That should be enough to hold us, I think. It's not that heavy a train. And this is a pretty powerful locomotive. In fact, it is already slowing down. That's cool. We may have to come off dynamics. C says this route isn't his cup of tea. It's just the same old, but it does look good. No hate. I'm just waiting for West Coast Main Line. That's fair enough, mate. Some people love a route from their home country. Some love a route from other countries. Each to their own. Each to their own. I think I can come off dynamics now. Where actually, let me get it down below. A little bit slower, and then I'll come off the dynamics. Let's just come back into setup. It shouldn't do much in the way of dynamics in setup. That's Rail Driver jiggling the handle around like that, not me, just saying. But that's okay. Bad Guy says, I imagine you could probably replace those switches on the Rail Driver. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of a Rail Driver, but from each of those levers that sticks up, there's plastic rods that run over to a circuit board that turn variable capacitors, and they get a bit loose over time. There is a guy on YouTube that's got a fix for it using bread ties, of all things. But, yeah, it may help. Don't know. I have to pull mine apart and have a bit of a look. It is very old. But there is also the actual software that is running the Rail Driver in Train Sim World is not as good as it could be, let's put it that way. And it depends heavily on the loco setup. So they're doing the smoothing in each loco, and that's, in my opinion, not the right way to do it. I've had that conversation with Matt, and I think suffice to say that Matt doesn't actually agree with me based on the amount of rework he'd have to do. So they're not about to go and touch every single locomotive in the game just because I want something different, so I just live with it. So if you're into Rail Driver, the handles will jerk sometimes in some locos, but in particular locos, so some of the ones that came out with Train Sim World 5 were quite bad, like the Pendolino. do report that via support or the forums, and hopefully we'll make enough noise that it gets addressed. Raildriver is such a small part of the community of players that it takes a lot of convincing to do it. Just give it another notch on the dynamics. Cactus Juice is the same. They didn't have time to put cab signals in the freight stock. Definitely. Definitely. That would have been well worthwhile. We are allowed to speed up, so I suppose we should. I'll just come back one step on the dynamics because we're still going to accelerate on one step. Now my air indicator's down to 20, we would actually be able to brake and effectively and use the train well at this point, so if I need to I can. Uberk and Cactus Juice are both enjoying their appreciation of signalling. Nearly all the semaphores on my railway, nearly all the signals on my railway are semaphores. We've got mechanically actuated, we've got electrically actuated, and we've got some fully motorised ones that report their position. And Rails, this is the mod that came out for 4, but you don't need to change it for 5. It's fine. We're still happily accelerating. It's one thing I should point out that with freight trains, just because it says do 50 miles an hour doesn't mean you actually should. Rail says there's also a ditchlight mod. There are tons of mods. Uberk says you're becoming a celebrity of sorts on TSD's streams. Indeed. Cactus Juice, very welcome. Bad Guy says, interesting, I've not seen the inside of a rail driver. Good to see even using bread ties to fix it. Let me see if I can find a link to the video for you. So excuse the typing for a moment. Ah, of course the alerter. Ah, stop it. This is the one, I think. Yeah, this is the guy with the bread ties, so let me get you a link. This is the rail driver fix guy, and you'll see the inside of the rail driver. They're quite interesting the way they're built. I certainly wouldn't build it that way. I would have put the electronics on every control of this personally and not used the way it's done. But that's okay. C says rain effect still looks naff in his opinion, but is making it not hating DRG enough to get hated, pretty things like that. Oh, look, I think the rain effect's not bad, actually. This isn't the newest one, I don't think. Has it got zigzagging raindrops? I don't think it does have zigzagging raindrops, so I don't think this is the newest one. The newest one, they changed direction, and it's a bit variable depending on your speed. So this is the old rain effects. Just grab another notch of dynamics, because we're starting to get out of the range of speed that dynamics will actually be useful. So we'll just see how that holds. MANNC rail fan, yes, CSX. Uberk says the signals in his own work are gone. He cries. Hello, Violet. How are you? Welcome. I am well, thank you. Hello, Chase to Fox. Welcome. New York, Texas Railroad. Welcome to you. What does the C signal coming out of Worcester mean? Well, the right person here is to answer that, and I see he has already. Rail says the ditch light mod fixes the sinking where the horn causes them to flash instead of remaining solid. Well, that's fair enough. Cactus Juice says the C light is used in NORAC Rule 562 territory. It's lit when cab signals have failed. Just read up on that operating rule. MC and NC rail fan, honk the horn every time you pass by a station and railroad crossing. I usually do. I must have missed one if you've said that. Rail says, imagine if DTG simulated tornado behaviour. Now, funny you might mention that. So, normally we don't talk about beta, but let me give you a funny instance of something that happened in beta, because it's nothing to do with trains, and I won't get in trouble for saying it. There was a particular place on, I think it was Castle Wurzburg, where you'd be driving along happily, and then your train just ended up on its side. Didn't matter what train, didn't matter what speed. And it turned out that the wind was set to 4,000 kilometres an hour, and it was pushing the train over. It was really funny. It took them ages to figure that out. But I would think having disasters would be quite good. I think I should pay more attention to my speed, because look what I'm doing. Sitting here reading the chat for so long. Alright, dynamics off. Let's just let it roll for a moment, let the train settle down, and we'll start applying a bit of power. I'm going to run the train for a little while instead of watching the chat. Alright, let's stretch it back out again, if the rail driver's going to let me. And there we go. Good timing, because we are starting to go uphill as well. Ooh, shorter spread shot coming up. Let's get down here by the water. Come on, come on, come on. Quick, 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 quick. There we go. Lovely. I think we need to hear this thing go up to notch 8, don't you? It won't be for very long, but we can do it. That's about as long as I'm willing to stay in notch 8. Just go back to keeping her stretched now. Get that rail driver in a slightly better place. There we go. That seems to have settled it. I've got my gain on the mic cranked up just a little today. Please let me know if you're hearing other sounds, because I know how annoying that is, so I want to make sure that doesn't happen. You can use whatever account you want, Violet. Road crossing coming up. Is there a sequencer on this one? No, I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. This mod is a touch glitchy on the horn sounds and the dynamic brake sounds. It's not too bad though. I like the way the prime mover sounds. I think the horn should be a little deeper and meatier, to be honest. It hasn't got enough oomph to it. It's not rattling your brain. It's a bit of a roller coaster, this route, isn't it? We're going up a 0.7 again. Hello, that train guy. Bad guy says, I think I remember Matt mentioning something about it actually. I asked him if Sam had a hand in that. Of course, he didn't. But if you get the joke, the hilarity is there to be had. Indeed. Sam with trains in space. Now, even though there's 6,000 horsepower of locomotive bearing down on them, we better warn these people. Where's that one going? Looked like they were heading off down into the wilderness. Imagine the poor commuter train stuck behind me at the moment. Florian says, seeing this consist and driving it early today, funnily enough, has made me hope for a Sandpatch remaster. That would be cool. It's kind of funny, actually. I'm not a huge fan of really long freight drags, but I have to admit I like driving trains up and down Sandpatch. I don't know why, but I do. And, you know, it's got things that Cajon and Sherman just don't. I think maybe they're a little bland, whereas Sandpatch, it's in a forest, it's in the mountains, there's plenty to look at, scenery's nice. What would you change about the route, Florian, to in a remaster? Same with you, Michael. What would you update in Sandpatch to make it cool? I like the scrap metal loads. And we're going back downhill again. I'd better start behaving myself. You guys can't see how fast I'm going, but I can. New York Texas Railroad asks, why does Southampton Street Yard not have a spawn point? That's a good question. I always prefer to have more spawn points than less. Here's the tail end, finally. So we'll jump back to the cab and hope we don't load tiles. We did load a tile, of course. And as you can tell, I am going just a little bit quick, but that's okay. It's a bit quick for dynamics, so we'll just do a minimum reduction on the air, and we'll see how that holds and brings us down. It should. Hello, Cab Pepe. Rail says it's an 8400 horsepower unit. Wide cab dash 8's 4000, and the 44 CWs produce exactly how much it is, 4400. Yep. There we go. Brakes are starting to have an effect, so I'm going to come off. Because they'll take ages to release all the way along the train, because it is a fairly long train. I like the water along here in the lakes. I'd love to see some boats on there. I reckon there'd be boats on those lakes. Just seem to make sense. Seem a bit empty without boats. See what I mean about how long the brakes take to come off? So if we were to whip down the back, let's go and have a look at what it says on the rear here. So we're back to 85, so the brakes have released. Aiden asks, what do I plan to do for my next stream? That's a good question. I've got Wednesday night gaming coming up. I haven't quite decided what will be this week. I did run Train Sim Tycoon on Friday night, just because I could. I've gotten back onto Tailwind, the developer, via JD from DTG, because I got a copyright claim on that video because of the music in the game, so we need to be able to turn the music off. So I'm hoping that can happen relatively quickly. But if you haven't played Trade Sim World Tycoon and you like Roblox, give it a crack. It's actually kind of fun. If you're not a Roblox person, that's perfectly fine too. It's not a train simulator by any means. It has just well, it's not quite zero physics, but it's almost zero physics. They do at least accelerate slowly and decelerate slowly. Like when it first came out, when I first saw the early access preview version of it, it used to go from 0 to 100 in 0 seconds. And it doesn't do that anymore. Yeah, we have another bridge coming up. Let's go have a look. Where is it? No, not there. Road bridge. There we go. Just in time. Rails says, I hope they fix the brakes on the 4400 GP38 SD40. What's wrong with them? I think they're relatively realistic. Yeah, people with fishing rods would be good, you Burke. Florian would like to see for longer trains. Todd 4 and layers from other freight routes like this train now. The scenery itself is wonderful, but the long trains are something I'd love to see on Sandpatch Grade. Capepe says, is it realistic with passenger trains at Sandpatch? It is. There's an Amtrak service that runs over Sandpatch, I think. I don't know if it still does, but it did. So those brakes are finally charging up. So you can just see the air indicator now starting to drop back. So it does take a really long time. Bit of the your chips are ready siren from McDonald's there. Set up on the dynamics for 10 seconds. I'm not sure if that completely went into setup then. Oh, there they go. Dynamics should still work at this speed. We're on the edge of the speed where they wouldn't. Shouldn't need too much to keep it under control though. Real signal numbering, good to know. Is that a crossing? Might be. No, it's not a crossing. I honked for nothing. It's all good. I will never hear. You didn't see a thing. Hello, Neil TV8. Welcome. Rail says when you apply initial reduction, you apply a £10 reduction, not £5 to £7 application. It depends on the train. So on our diesels, initial gives you a £7 reduction in the brake pipe, which gives you 7.7 pounds times 2.5, which is about, what, 16 pounds of application? And that 2.5 depends on the size of your reservoirs, triple valves and brake cylinders too. Or K-valves as they're called today. They're not called triple valves anymore. They have a new name. Does the same thing. So those people that jump on your back and go, oh, they're not triple valves. Yes, they are. They're just not called that anymore. Rails says the capital limit has temporarily merged with the Silver Star to become the Floridian. Yeah, I'd heard about that. 2 trains in one from Washington. Track grease has always seemed somewhat illogical to me, Cactus Juice. It's like, yep, we're going to grease the flange. Our engines have flange sticks, so they're solid grease rods that are pushed onto the flange with a spring, and they slowly wear away, greasing the flanges. So we don't grease our track anywhere, we just grease the flanges. It's weird that that noise just cuts out just like that. Why are you powering a locomotive? You're in idle. That's weird. I'm sure it's in idle. It is in idle. Why did it power? Oh, is rail driver doing its thing? Yep, rail driver's doing its thing. There you go. Just sit there. That's better. Starting to go up again. And gently stretch the train out again. Just use notch 1 for that, I think. If I can get it to stay there. Yep, there we go. I think there's new trees on this route. I'm pretty sure of it. It's trees I've never seen before in the game. Let's do a fly over the yard and see what we can see. Got some tank cars, some hoppers. Got a bit of a river going on with the wet textures there. Sometimes the wet textures are a tad shiny. Looks like the track doesn't have wet textures in the yard. Lots of clutter over here around the little shed. Someone's been through the bins looking for things they can sell. How unusual. Oh, there's a few parcel deliveries there. You better get those in. And I'm guessing this is all the dumped cars they find along the railway and they've brought them here. Got some train wheels. Some tyres. Some cables that have been there so long they're starting to sink into the ground. Some wheelbarrows much bigger than the cable reels. Some oil tankers in a fenced yard. They are so close to being fouled. You would never leave stock like that. You just wouldn't. I wonder if there's any services that shunt this yard, because it's... Yep, come on. Oh, stop it. Alright. What about this yard over here? So the other one's... no, this one's got solid gates, so there won't be anything shunting in this yard, but there could be in the other one. Rails are still chatting about reductions. Yeah, it depends on the railway whether they do a 7 or if they do a big reduction. £20 is a very big reduction. So I'd actually be a little bit surprised if minimum reduction went straight to £20, to be honest with you, because that's huge. Because remember, it's £20 times 2.5 in the brake cylinder. So it's basically a 50-pound application. That's massive. Trains on my railway run at 70 pounds, but our mainline stuff runs at 90. Cumberland Farms. Thanks, Cactus Juice. This question for Aiden, who's in the vertical stream. What would you like to see in the next stream? Kenny's Elvis channel says, is it me or does Sandpatch Grade need sound updates? All the locos sound the same. If you scroll back in the chat, you will find a link to some mods that I posted for these locomotives. We are actually running sound mods for this one. And I was a bit brave because I loaded up those mods literally seconds before starting to stream today. How long is this train? This train is 1 mile and 4,104 tons. Those are American tons. They're not too dissimilar to metric tons. So, you know, whatever it is for you, it's a little bit up or down. Kenny, no, those mods do not work for Xbox. Mods are PC only, I'm afraid. At least currently. I know Matt has a desire to be able to find a way to bring mods to the other platforms, because part of the idea of releasing a public editor is to allow community to build routes, which requires you to be able to get them onto consoles. And that is a very challenging, long negotiation process with the console people. So don't expect anything quickly, if ever. I know some games do have the ability to load mods onto console, but it's not universal. I had better pay attention because we've got a yellow signal coming up. I wouldn't have thought dynamics had worked that well at 40 mile an hour, but we'll see. They seem to be working. Kenny says, thank you, I'm a very patient person, totally understand the struggle of the process of getting mods onto console. Yes, it is a bit of a challenge, that's for sure. Right on it, Cactus Juice. Dave says, if you check the map, you might see a freight train raiding at a red signal at Framingham. Let's have a look. Yellows, yellows. We do have a red coming. We're crossing over to the other track, going into the yard, so there's nothing in front of us at this point. And I'm slowing down way too much. Way too much. Let's just come down to brake one, that'll let us accelerate again. See what happens when you start looking at maps and chats. Things happen quite quickly. Aiden says for a stream, maybe doing some chat route suggestions, playing timetable on foot, and then playing services from chat choice. Yeah, we could do things like that. If I was doing something like that, I'd probably start running a service, and then during that service, get people's thoughts of what they'd like to see for the next one. These dynamics do work very well, Cactus Juice, and I do agree, they do work a little bit too well. For those that are wondering, if you put on dynamics at 40 mile an hour, the braking effect would actually be very, very slight. Certainly not like this. So they're a little overactive in this. Dynamics don't work below about 6 to 8 miles an hour, and they don't work above about 24 to 25 miles an hour. They still do things, but they don't do much, and they certainly don't do that. So, a little overactive, shall we say. Clearly there's a lot of monkeys running on the treadmill in this locomotive. Kenny's Elvis channel in the vertical feed says that's the C40-8W. I have an HO scale CSX C48W number 7658 happily sitting on my Xbox. Favourite American diesel. That's cool. That's true, Cactus Juice. Cactus does say at least in diesels. In the... and it works differently in the commuter locomotives too, because the blended braking in commuter locomotives actually does work fairly well at high speed. But even they tend to apply the air brakes while the blended braking is taking effect, then they partially release the air brakes. But they still keep a fairly heavy application on. In electrics, it's usually not so much dynamics, it's usually regenerative most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. The difference is in dynamics, you have these massive... Actually, I'm not sure on the C48W which one's the radiator. So one of these will be the radiator, and the other one will be the dynamic grills. And they should both have big fans on them, but you can't see them in this loco. And the dynamics on this sort of locomotive basically pump the electricity that's getting generated into big resistor grids that just get really hot. So they turn the speed into heat, essentially. Whereas on regenerative braking, it's very similar from the traction motor perspective, but that's pushing the generated electricity back into the grid that powers the trains. Which must be a nightmare to cope with from a... from an engineering perspective, I have to say. I'd love to see some weeds along the edges of this water. The water's nice, but the edges are a little bland there. I am going to be careful to keep it under 30 now, as we approach our finishing point. Kenny's Elvis channel in the vertical feed says another thing that's not realistic is the C40-8W does not go 128 mile an hour by itself in real life, as it does in the training center map. Yes. Yes, they're probably limited to 75, although I don't see anything up here on the cab roof, which is where you'd normally see it. Cactus Juice is probably coming up on an approach. Just do a quick little reduction. And get off now that I've seen them start to bite. Cactus Juice is probably coming up on approach. Yes, New York, Texas Railroad placed a delay in blockboard, so it's up to you to follow the operating rules. So we're going nice and slow. I'm not sure if it's changing tracks here, but we've just got a nice low speed on to run through here, which is good. I think it is changing tracks, just looking at that. Yeah, it appears to be. You can see the points are set. We're going over onto the left-hand or non-running track. And it appears to be a grade crossing too. Should probably start warning them soon, I suppose. Ooh, look at those naughty gates. Did I see one of those is up? That one's down. Oh, look at that. We've got a failed gate. Oh no. It's not even flashing. It's completely knackered. Oh well, at least the ones over there are working, although they're not aimed very well, are they? They're sort of aimed off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bugger. Okay. Let me get the folder for that for later on and put that down there. That's not good. That's not good at all. Not happy, Jan. That makes me sad. We were almost finished that one. Let's see if I can resume from a checkpoint maybe, and we could be lucky. It could be lucky. We'll see. I actually think that's the first crash I've had on Boston. Pretty sure. Loading. Loading, loading. Loading. Always wonder about this tip. Step back a bit and the option will appear on the screen. That's not necessarily true. But sometimes you have to be underneath it. No, it's going to go into reverse, isn't it? That's the scenario I was playing before. I think that's what that said, but let's see what it loads. Yep, let's jump out of there and we will go and play something else since we don't want to go through and however long that was, nearly an hour, just to try that again. That makes me sad. Checkpoints sometimes survive, Brad. I really should do saves, but I didn't. I've gotten used to it being reliable. What was my next thing I was going to run today? Yeah, Patriots Run. That's what I was going to do. I like the sound of this one because it's a cold start. And it's not often you get to do a cold start. See, if I save this one now, which I think that just should have. Then if I come back in, it'll go into here. It's Patriots Day, and that means Marathon Day in Boston. You've been tasked with bringing this extra revenue service into action to take people from Framingham into Boston South to enjoy the day's festivities. Start your locomotive from Cold and head towards Framingham as an empty revenue service. You will then call at all stops to Boston South. The weather is terrible this morning, although it's set to clear in time for the race. An empty revenue service. Don't you mean a non-revenue service? Anyway. That's fine. Main battery would be that one. Hold the start switch would be that one. Let's just turn on safety systems while we're here. Is that the only one? I think that might be... I think that's the only one in here. The others are somewhere else. We've got... What else have we got turned on, ready to go? We've got marker lights on, numbers, platform. We should turn that off. Marker lights. It wants me to start the HEP, which is probably over here somewhere. There it is. It looked like it had green signals all the way in, Dave Loves. It had the yellows for the switch and then green. Set the AC power to on. Set the train line set up to Long Hood Trail. Set the isolation switch to run. That's up here. I would have thought you would have done that before you started the HEP, but anyway. Move to the cab car. And set for an immediate departure Boston bound. Well, in that case, we actually do want to have the marker lights on. We don't want the alerter on in here, that's fine. We have to go up the other end. Well, enjoy yourself, little F40. We're going to go away now. That's a good side to get out on. No, I'll probably get stuck in the fence. Go the other side. Find that little spot. There it is. Splosh, 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 splosh through the water. Into the cab car, closing the door behind you. That's very specific. I'm going to get in the other side of the cab car because this side never makes sense. And the reason it never makes sense is because you can't open the trapdoor. Come on, find the steps. No, not the trapdoors. I don't want to climb down the stairs, I want to climb up the stairs. Yay! Hotspots. Actually, why don't we just annoy the scenario? Just for amusement. Alright, now we do reverse it in, and it wants to go to neutral, does it? Fair enough. Set the gen field to on. Is that in here, I think? On. What are the others? Oh, engine run needs to be on as well. Brake control, that's fine. And if we want, let's just ignore the directions for the moment. I'll come out here and do alerter and cab signals. Don't think there's anything else to turn on in here. Looks like the lighting's turned on. Better give them some air conditioning. Oh, we can't. Oh well. Sucks to be them. It's a bit cold and miserable in there. That's okay. Cold and miserable for us too. Set the valve to cut in. Set the headlights to bright. I should be able to do this with this thing. There we go. Ooh, that's awful. The yard has manual switches. Ensure they are set correctly before departing. Well, if it thinks I'm going for a walk, it's got another thing coming. Mostly they're okay. Shut up, you. That one's not right. That one caught me out the other day, actually. I ran into those buffers because I wasn't paying attention when I was playing on my own. It's kind of funny. Away we go. Not sure I like having the headlights on bright, to be honest. Did I release the brakes? I did on Rail Driver, but it didn't take in the game. There we go. It's happening. Lots of hissing. Aiden says he rejoined the stream because his YouTube broke. That does happen occasionally. It's alright, my train broke. I will go give Q436 another go, Dave. So we crawl out of the yard here. Amazingly so far, behaving ourselves. Uberk says, if only that cold start matched all the claggy ones on YouTube. Yes. You can feel the suspension happening in here. I'm not sure if the wheels actually have suspension. Let's watch as it crosses the V. Oh yeah, they do. I have noticed on some trains the suspension change is implemented only in the cab, not on the wheel sets. Cactus says you had a medium approach, so the next signal would have been restricting or stop. That's a bummer. See you later, Florian. Have a good night, mate. And it's always fun starting up our diesels on our railway of a morning, because they look remarkably like a steam engine for a while. As they chuff into life. They even sound like steam engines, because they go chuff, 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 until they actually go. Benjamin's Brain in the Jar says, playing Take Me Home from the Ball Game on Xbox Series X right now. My wipers just randomly stopped working and I can't see a thing. I was wondering if it happened on PC too. I haven't had it happen, but not to say it doesn't. I would suggest trying it again if you don't mind. Finish the run, but if they don't come back to life, then perhaps put in a support ticket if you can reproduce it with a list of steps. So what you did from main menu through to when it happened to you. Just to help the testers in validating it. Kenny in the vertical says, fun fact, CSX runs through the middle of Main Street in my hometown every day. Dwarfs all the cars and trucks parked along the side of the road. That'd be an interesting thing. We've got, I think there's only one place where we've still got trains running down the street, and that's in a place called Witchyproof. I think that's the only one now. The others have all been gotten rid of because people are stupid. They park in the way, leaving the train driver with a choice. Push the car out of the way or wait. Because it's not as though the car's going to offer a lot of resistance to the train. So we've got a few containers sitting over there. Open the window even though we'll get all wet. The front of our back of our train rather passes that marker. We'll be allowed to go up to 30. Right now, in fact. We're allowed up to 40 on the ADU, but we're still not quite out of the yard yet, so Until that happens, we have to keep going slowly. Won't be long, though. I do have Discord, Kenny. If you go to the homepage for my channel, there is a link to my Discord. Let's do a proper commuter railway, straight up to Notch 8. None of this mucking around stuff. Not that you can tell in a cab car, of course. Keep on our speed because we are getting a little close to the limit. It's interesting that it's got this happening. Because it's not true, I can power. I am, in fact. Through the mists and rain. I often wonder how the drivers or engineers manage the train handling in cab cars, because in all the places where you would like to keep a train stretched out, when you've got a cab car you can't. It's pushing on you. So you're keeping it bunched. See you later, Cactus Juice. Have a great day. Thank you for dropping in. The other difference between passenger and freight, because they're so short, you don't mind doing brake on, brake off, brake on, brake off. It's fine to do that. On freight trains you wouldn't do that because you will piss away your air and you will not be able to stop. We'll add up to 55 momentarily. There we go. Could let gravity take care of that, but that sounds boring. Let's get some grunt on. Just a little bit. Ah, Tree Sim World. Brought to you by Tree. Let's see if we get away with it now. That's better. I do like the headlights in the fog. It's kind of nice. I'm sad that you can't hear the thunder inside the train anymore. I used to like that. Kenny says if you in Sandpatch in game, there's a branch off to the right outside the Cumberland rail yard by the overpass. If you follow that branch further in real life, you'll lead to your local railroad. That's cool. Aidan says no idea on the cab car question UK's. The only sort of relation we can refer to is something like the Anglia Mark II rake. And Kenny lives in West Virginia along the Ohio River, where Cumberland is about 2.5 hours away. I've actually been there in real life. We drove all the way across the country when I worked in America, just for shits and giggles. I agree, you Burke. It was an evil person who put the ADU up there. I mean, that's about as ergonomic as being kicked in the face repeatedly. a long run to Framingham just to pick up a train. Kenny asked, did you enjoy it? I know it's not the land of the free that everyone wants it to be. The work was fun, but it was overly challenged in a few ways. Partly because the engineering standards from Australia and America are quite different. So there were lots of challenges on that front. Some of the people didn't want us there, so that made things interesting. But the country itself, I actually know quite a lot of people in the US, so... As everywhere, the people are cool, even if the way things happened isn't exactly what you're used to. So, do I let gravity take us to 70, or do I do it? I think I'll do it. That looked like the mainstream paused for a little while. In fact, I don't think they're... There we go. That's better. It's going to be hard to spot grade crossings in this rain, especially through this tiny window. There's one cool thing about having a lot of entitled people, Kenny. Is that an overspeed? Why? Why did I get an overspeed? I didn't go over 70 mile an hour. Well, okay. Clearly it thinks I did, because it's stopping me. Sure, I didn't go over 70. Why did the headlights go off? Why did the headlights come back on again when I released the brakes? Are you actually going to let me drive? The PCS is closed, so it's... Yeah, it's pumping up. It's going to let me move. That'd be a good one for the fault book, I think. The overspeed indicator has cleared. I don't think I went over 70 miles an hour. I will play that back and I will have a look, but I think that might have just been a little bit of a fault, because I think I was doing about just on 60 when that happened. Interesting. Oh well, gives us an excuse to go notch 8. Even though that would probably slip like crazy. But as I was saying, there's one really cool thing about having lots of entitled people, and there's plenty in this country as well, so you're not alone there by any means, Kenny. Is there's nothing better than entitled people versus cops on body cam videos on YouTube. They are so funny. .15 miles to Framingham. We're starting to get a countdown on the ADU now, so you can see on the track monitor we've got a 55. The ADU's counting down to that speed. One of the people that was in the horizontal chat before... Quiet, chip machine. Oops. Do that. One of the people who's in the horizontal chat before, and that's Pug. He's actually got a channel. See if I can find it for you. No, it's too far back. Oops. Naughty. Didn't ring the bell. So you look up and go, well, I'm going through a station. It's interesting that we didn't seem to be accelerating in notch 3 going downhill. A little weird. The box will let us do 60 now, but the... there we go. It's come up on the HUD too. Yeah, there's another train coming. Of course we ended up in a tree just at the right rail fanning moment. Of course! What else would happen? Perfect, as they say. Hello, Chris Martin. Welcome. I hope you're well. We're driving the Patriots run scenario in Train Sim World 5 on the MBTA Commuter Boston Worcester route. Kenny in the vertical says this is his Watch Everything channel of an actual rail channel that I need to start using for locomotive related videos. Procrastination at its finest. That sounds very familiar. I tend to run real train shorts on this channel as well as the gaming. Haven't put any up this week actually. I should do something about that because my shorts views will start dropping off. Down to the rain on the roof's pretty good there. It is good to keep separate channels for watching and contributing, so when I'm using this channel I try and keep it filtered to train and gaming. Uberk says this is not a day for a marathon, it's a day for naps or coffee. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Driven a whole 30 miles, look at that. This build anyway. My shoes. It's getting cold in here. It was 31 degrees Celsius yesterday. That was quite warm. And today, it's cold. That's Melbourne for you. That and the first bushfire for the season is blanketing our city in smoke right now. Bit of an early start to the season. It probably doesn't bode well for the rest of summer. Aiden asked, would it be possible to play Fife with the Fife Circle 2024 Enhancement Pack? When it comes out, yes. I'm getting an overspeed again at 55. Why? Why is it doing that? I definitely was not speeding. I was watching it that time. That was at 55 mile an hour. And I'm allowed to do 60. Well, okay. That would be, folks, what you potentially call a bug. And I love that the headlights go off when you're braking hard. Do they do it when you... Yeah, they do. Look at that. You can go into suppression and the headlights go off. That's so weird. I don't know if that's the rail driver, though. It might be. Come on, train. Let me drive again. It might be mods, Aiden. Next time I run Fife will probably be when the branch is released. Levisham? Levens? Whatever it is. Come on. Close the valve. Do I have to go into suppression again? Probably do. There we go. Straight into notch 8 because I'm impatient. That's weird. What time was that in the stream? I'm going to report that. That was about 1:30. Okay. I'm definitely going to put in a bug report about that because that does not seem right. Leavenmouth, that's it. Thank you, the simulator guy. People seem to be quite hyped up about it, but it's only 2 stations. So, I don't think I'll get that hyped. And it's not getting the trams. No trams. Sad. Sad face. Yep, the chip fryer's on again. What the? What the? We didn't even get anywhere near 50. We got an overspeed. You know what? I hate to do this to you, game, but I'm going to do it. That one? No. You can take your safety systems and you can jam them where the sun doesn't shine. Let's see if it does it now with the safety system disabled. Thanks, Aiden. Kenny says, I'm also in the midst of building up a model railroad. Might record some videos of my locos. Why not? They're often quite popular on YouTube. People like to see other people's constructive efforts. Coming up in January, I'm building the buildings for it at the moment, but I'll be running a layout as part of MLTC at Brickvention, which is Lego trains, and I'm running a 2'6" narrow gauge railway, which represents the railway I operate on in real life. So I'll be setting that up on the Thursday. We've got the convention day on the Friday, and then the opens. What? What? I think there's something wrong with this scenario. Maybe not the train. Anybody else been experiencing this? This is really weird. Should we turn it off and on again? That got to about 40 miles an hour that time. And I've got safety systems turned off. I don't have the alerter turned off. Everything's fine up there. Let's go and turn the alerter off and see if it's that doing it. Transformer marker lights, intercom control operators. Where's the alerter? Where are you? Alerter. Alertor. Spelt wrong too. That's funny. Alright, let's go and try that. It didn't reset the PCS that time. Come on, suppression. Right. Let's try that. Very weird. This is MBTA Commuter, and the scenario is Patriots Run. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with it, because it just doesn't seem right. And I think, yeah, we're definitely cut out on both ATC and Axis, so that shouldn't have any influence on us at all anymore. It'll just tell us what speeds to do, but it shouldn't enforce anything. Uberk says, I've always had problems with these old Boston cab cars. I gave up on them. I can't remember what the problem was, though. Something about safety speed system didn't feel like it worked properly. Is this the 3 or the 5? Might be the 3, because I agree, the 3s are actually a bit shit. I generally don't drive cab cars because I just don't like driving cab cars. Because, you know, there's no engine sound. Alright, we're getting up to 55. We've got a 60 coming up, so we'll throttle off and stay under the 60 that's coming up. Hopefully turning off all the safety systems has cured it. But the alerter has nothing to do with speed, so it certainly shouldn't be doing it. The only thing I can think of is if the alerter was sounding silently, so I didn't know it was doing it. So if we get another mile, what I'll do is I'll go and turn the cab signalling back on again and we'll leave the alerter off. UK Tag in the mainstream says, evening everyone. Anyone else getting West Coast mainline route? Unfortunately, I'm still on Gen 8 for now. I'll only be getting the 87. Hopefully I'll get Gen 9 for my birthday or Christmas. Yeah, it's a bit sad, but I understand why they've done it. So I'm glad you know about it. I've tried to make it widely known that that's happening. Of course, my audience isn't massive, so I just hope people are passing that news on and that everybody understands, because the last thing I would want is for someone on a Gen 8 console to shell out the money for the new West Coast Main Line from Just Trains and discover they had such a limited timetable not knowing about it. Because they'd be a bit mad. Well, we've made it a mile, So I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to turn on... I don't know if this is a good idea when you're moving. I'm not going to turn the alerter on, but I am going to turn the cab signal and speed back on and sit down. Reset that. Bad timing. Because I want to see if this fires off an overspeed, because if it's the alerter doing it, then that's just a bit weird. Kenny says, I don't have this route, I just have the routes and locos from TSW2 Deluxe and TSW4 Deluxe. I'll be getting TSW3 with the Santa Fe F7 for Christmas. I only have the free upgrade for TSW5. That's okay, that's what the free upgrade's for. It's to keep you apace with the game without you having to pay. It's a good move as far as I'm concerned. Very good move. You should always keep an eye out in the sales, Kenny, because although I think you're on, I think you said you're on Xbox, so there's not as many sales on Xbox. Steam and Epic get lots of sales. PlayStation gets, I think, 1 a year. I think Xbox gets about 4 a year. If you've got Game Pass, Kenny, the TSW5 Standard Edition is on Game Pass. That's the other reason the free starter pack is a good idea, because people would get the game on Game Pass or on PSN on the other console, and when it came out of Game Pass they couldn't play the stuff they'd bought, which is always a little unfair. Burke agrees with me about cab cars. You don't have a feel for it when your sensors don't hear the power. Yes, there's a lot missing in these. I'm just going to pop on a bit of brakes because, you know, HUD. All those people are going, why are they running a train if we can't get on it? We just have to stand here in the rain. The reason I break down to below 45 is this yellow signal coming up, so I'm just anticipating it. Even though I can't see it yet. UK Tag says, I completely understand why they're doing it. TSW isn't the only game doing this. The same thing is happening with games like EAFC 25. Yeah, it does happen. When does the starter pack end now? They haven't actually given an end date. It says early 2025. So, we'll see. Trains are certainly banking up along this part of the line, aren't they? Yeah, there's a crossing there. Fortunately, another train was already blocking it. Is this a crossing? Or is this a bridge? This is a crossing. Just squeezed in the 4. Back up to speed again now. Now we are coming up on Framingham, so we don't want to pick up too much. Brad MacArthur says, I enjoy the challenge of driving cab cars. You need to know the loco pushing you to drive it without being able to hear it. Yeah, that's true. Burke says, waiting for you probably. That's probably quite true. Got a fact about the Boston Marathon popped up down below there. Kenny says might also pick up Clinchfield and Oakville as well. Class warship, 42 warship Onslaught was added to the game. Getting ready to ask if there was going to be a Black Friday sale. I don't know. Was there one last year on Xbox? Because if there was one last year, then probably yes. Coming up on Framingham, so we'll have to start slowing down soon. Oakville, I'd suggest, is decent on a sale. I built some scenarios for Oakville, and free roam makes Oakville fun, actually, because most of the yards in Oakville are accessible. So you can build your own trains and go wherever you want. It looks like it was the alerter causing the overspeed, which is really interesting. So it's not an overspeed, it's just the alerter going off silently. Aiden says there was a short one on Black Friday. So yeah, if there was one last year, I would expect one this year. So don't count it as 100%, but I know on Steam and Epic they run the same sales every year, and people seem to be surprised that there's a sale. It's like, well, yeah. I'm not that surprised. Coming into Framingham. Aiden says I believe it spanned one day before and one after. Yeah, that sounds normal for Black Friday. The ADU is warning me to slow down, but I already have for the most part. Let's do this last little bit and get us down to the 15. Aiden says another suggestion is 2 Tall Tylers East Coast Way timetable. 2F04 London Victorian Ore is really good when getting near the end of the route. Sun rising. Pop some photos in the Discord. Thank you. Funnily enough, won't check them now. For some funny reason. Dre Dreamer, hello. No Black Friday sales on Xbox. Well, yet. There was last year, so let's wait and see what comes. It's one of those funny things. Black Friday has absolutely nothing to do with Australia, yet we have Black Friday sales. Going to try and control your speed down the gradient without going too slowly or too quickly. Do you really have a new president, Kenny? I hadn't heard. We don't even care about our own politicians, let alone other people's. The only time your new guy ever makes the news over here is when he does something stupid. So he's on the news a lot. Now arriving, Framingham. We've got the crowds we have to pick up. We're running an extra service for all these crowds. I really wanted to stop all the way back there. Alright, I'll do that then. It's now in the train so we can go full service on the brakes. And I suppose I should open the doors. I imagine it wants me to open the doors. And now stop at all stops to Boston South. There we go. Lovely. Now, all you people up there, come up here. Because the game made me stop here. Oh, I get it. It probably wanted me to stop with that door on this platform for the non-existent wheelchair people. Because we don't have wheelchairs in this game yet. It's good having the vertical stream, Aiden. Today it's fairly quiet. On Friday night I peaked at something like 3,000. So, you know, sometimes it goes really well, sometimes not. We'll just be generous and wait for these people, because, you know, there's so many of them. And they all want to go to the marathon, but they're not, you know, they're not marathoning. This one's wearing gumboots. Come on, people. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up, we're going to leave without you. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Alright, that's it. No more if you get in. Where we go. All those other people are going, what? You bastard. Uberk says an umbrella was walking in the tracks just before. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Simulator guy says I found a few bugs with this route, like the single level doors appearing closed even though they are opened. Make sure you drop things like that in the forums or in the into a support call, just so they're known. I mean, something like that other people would probably spot it, but just in case, always worth putting it in. Where does this go? Gonna have to do some tree pruning if we bring a train down here. This is the kind of thing I like putting trains on in free roam. And just going for it. And see where you end up. This looks like a fairly populated branch, doesn't it? I think I'm going too quickly. I'm going to get stopped. I have been stopped. It goes quite a long way. See what happens when you stop paying attention. Fine. Oh, Jate. Little diesel up the other end's going, wah! Wheelchair World 5? Yeah, that's possible. Just think of the one cool thing about Donald being in the office, Kenny. There's plenty of funny things in the news now. it's really going to punish me even though I'm allowed to do 60 from the other side of this crossing? Yes, it is. Look, I'm allowed to do 60 now. Just let me do it. Just out of interest, by the way, that actually should have stopped me then like it did. That was the right thing to happen. I was just hoping it would let me get away with it. I thought I was close enough to the 60 that I would be fine, but I was not right. That's okay. More power! More power! More power! No more power. Used all the power. Off we go to West Natick. Where did we actually get to in the route? Oh yeah, Fairway. And we're going to stop all stations until we get down there. Fair enough. Huge pile of Winnebagos. We have to drive like a commuter train from now on, because we are one. Kenny's Elvis channel says, oh, you have no idea. A lot of fake news has gone real quiet since we won the election. Uh-huh. Hello. I don't think this has an independent brake, does it? It doesn't. But we can start recharging the main brake. Just to hold us. That's pretty expensive, Kenny. A gallon of milk for $6 US. That's like 12 Australian dollars for 4 litres. We pay about $3 for 4 litres. So about $1.60 in your money. Straight in a notch 8, why not? Off we go to Natick Centre. The simulator guy feels bad for Gen 8 users. I don't feel bad for Gen 8 users in general, but Gen 8 users that don't have the means to upgrade, so the ones that have the financial means to upgrade and they've just chosen not to, whatever, it's their choice. But the ones that don't have the means to upgrade and will now miss out on new content, because there's now 2 things that aren't coming to properly to Gen 8. So the gameplay pack is only for Gen 9, and the not that we have a lot of detail on what the gameplay pack actually is yet. And the West Coast Mainline Preston Carlisle will only have 87 services on the Gen 8s. And that's only the 87s. No AI, minimum road traffic. Uberks pays about $2.05 for a litre of fresh milk. So I can tell you one thing I don't miss about America. Bread. American bread is terrible. I'm used to good bread. I like good bread. I got on my commuter now. I need to hover near the speed limit. Coming up on Natick Centre. And this thing brakes like a greased up pig thrown down a water slide, so we will get into the brakes now, I think. Brad says they do make good cornbread. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, cornbread's okay. I actually hate corn, but, you know, cornbread's actually kind of nice, weirdly. Might have been on the brakes a tad early there. Just a tad. Yeah, I think US bread is made of sugar and they show it flour while they're making it. So, here's some flour. In other countries, you'd be made of this. How about a bit of a courtesy dim there, mate? Oh, I suppose I didn't give them one. Welcome to Natick Centre. The doors will open on the right. All cars will be in the platform. Wants me to stop beyond the platform, doesn't it? Oh no, maybe right on the end of it. You gonna get on the train, mate? You're just gonna walk over me. You're just gonna kick me in the head. Yep. That'd be right. Yeah, where you going? What are you doing? Where are you going back? Are any of these people actually going to get on the train? Oh, I see what you mean about the doors. That was closed until I got near it and then it opened. Oh, that's a lotting issue, that is. Does it happen the other way? No, it's okay this way. What time is it in the stream? 2:05. I will put that into 2:05. Door slot. There we go. I'll put in a bug for that as well. Hubert says, just like cheap dram brands, here it's a picture of a raspberry. That's what you're supposed to taste like. Yep. Yep. Indeed. Oh well, that's okay. Kenny says, shrinkflation is a thing too. I bought a bag of potato chips for $5, just a little under a quarter full. Somewhat an Xbox Series X. Well, bread is garbage. I agree. The other thing it took me a long time to find was cheese that's not orange. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the natural colour for cheese is not orange. I don't know why American cheese is orange, but it is. It's just a tad weird that it's orange, but you know, that's okay. I eventually found a cheese shop in Berkeley that imported cheeses from France, the UK and Australia. And while it was very expensive, I was very happy. Uh-oh. Oh, it survived. I got worried then. I thought it was going to die. Wouldn't want two crashes in one day. That was just a garbage collection one, I think. Every now and again, Unreal pauses to tidy up memory. That's when you see those really big pauses. Or when you press the external camera like I just did, and we get a really big pause. I don't know why that happens. That shouldn't happen. But it does on some routes. What is the frame rate? Oh, it's a little bit lower than my target. My target is 60. Oh, now it's 60. And now it's happy. Strangeness. Strangeness indeed. Kenny says we can thank Kraft and Velveeta for the orange cheese. And cheaper brand is way better than name brand bread. Yeah. In Australia, we have a lot of fresh bread shops. So you can go and buy bread that's come out of the oven, usually within a few hours of you buying it, sometimes within minutes of you buying it. That's really nice. It's a bit of a spoilt thing. So you get used to having that, and you go to another country and you can't have that. Makes you sad. It's probably the only good thing about the city of San Francisco, where I used to live. Or actually, I lived in Oakland, across the water from San Francisco. But, sourdough bread. They do understand bread there. Hey, you'd find this funny, Kenny. Costco chip. Yes, we have Costco here as well. They have invaded. Kenny says the only shops we have here is smoke and vape shops. Yeah, they're around, but vapes are actually illegal in Australia. And smokes, you have to be over 25. I should probably stop, shouldn't I? I was just cruising along, minding my own business. Let's see how good the brakes are. I don't think they're this good, but we are going to stop. We might even stop completely in the platform. Wow. That's not bad from 60 miles an hour. There's laptops and coffee flying everywhere in the back of the train, though. Can't force all the doors to be open. Hello. How you doing? You having fun in there? I think your twin sister's behind you. You better be careful. And your twin cousins as well. Funny that you can hear the bell but not the horn. Heading up to the section of the line that's from Harry Potter, Weasley Hills. Kenny says in West Virginia we don't have Costco, we have Walmart. The legal age for smoking anything is 18 and drinking is 21. Walmart's a special kind of place, isn't it? Brad says they have really good baguettes at Costco. Not compared to real ones. They're okay. It's like Costco croissants. They're sort of a squashy, soft version of a croissant. Croissant should be flaky and crisp and crunch when you bite it. Yes. Oops. The Walmartians do provide that interesting level of life. They definitely do. I think they're a whole different breed of humanity, to be honest. See, a lot of back in the prehistory, we had the Neanderthals that became humans and the Cro-Magnons that died out. I actually don't think the Cro-Magnons died out. I think the Cro-Magnons might actually be the people who shop at Walmart. And we have their equivalent. Our equivalent here is Kmart. And our Kmart's not the same as American Kmart. It's different. That is so weird that my headlights get affected by my other controls on the rail driver. Did I open the doors? I did open the doors, I'm pretty sure. Oh, look at you all casually texting. Or doom scrolling. Maybe he's watching my shorts feed. Let's go have a look. Can we get in behind him? There's a free starter pack out now, mate. You don't have to read about Train Sim World 4 anymore. Oh, how'd we end up here? Oh, well, we're annoying a Mercedes. Good stuff. As they say in the classics, Challenger, go for throttle up. What was that? I didn't know Walmart had tried to get into Europe. That'd be an interesting choice. Hello, Rain and Jason's Adventures. Yeah, Kmart disappeared in America, but they still exist here. It's a different company, though. It's not the same. It's just the brand. And here they push themselves as upmarket cheap stuff. It's kind of like Temu in a building. I do like seeing all the bits of rubbish and stuff along the line. It's good. It's just missing the homeless camps. Yeah, Toys R Us closed here too, even though it's actually a separate brand. Oops. Stopping. Maybe. 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 We might get one carriage in the platform if we're really lucky. Will we? Will we? Or will it be an objective failed? Hey, the rain stopped. Just like that. I think we're getting objective failed. As it just slides on through. There we go. Ah, well. Never mind. Never mind. Off we go to Auburndale, this time for sure. Some European things have made it in the US, Uberk, so IKEA is a thing in America. And here. Ah, thank you, Michael. Tam Walker says, sorry to say this, but that's like saying my shites are cheap but upmarket because I did it in a posh toilet. Yep, that's it exactly. Gold-plated toilet makes your shit better. Kenny says his friend has an old Sears exclusive train set that you can't find very often. I've actually got a Sears Loco that I bought when I lived there. It's a rebranded Lionel. I think I've still got it somewhere. I wonder why they exist. I suppose it could be fuel for a generator for the signalling system or something like that. Feels like that sometimes, Kenny. Chris Vasquez, hello, how are you? Says they are propane tanks for the heaters that keep the power switches clear of snow and ice. I'm going to stop a bit too early. Alright, we'll stop there then. That'll be fine. And we'll sit outside the building. Why not? Let's come up here so we can watch it depart. We shall sit on this bench right here and watch the train go. Chris has his computer packed away right now, so he hasn't had a chance to play Train Sim World. It's great to see the new route. In that case, if your computer's packed away, this probably suits you, because you're watching on the Shorts feed. Oh, hello. Oh, the Shorts people can't see you. You gonna look back? Come on, look back. Go on. No jump scare? No? Oh well. Up we go to West Newton. I'd call it Newtown, but, you know, I think I've heard an American streamer call it Newton, so I'll call it Newton as well. Kenny is sitting outside, and apparently the coyotes are going nuts just over the hill from his house. Not something we have here. We replace bears with koalas. Coyotes will replace them with kangaroos. And everything else we just replaced with spiders. Oh, that'll do. Damn grumpy. Try and get into a spot where the shorts feed people can see him. There you go. Loading some more. Next stop, Newtonville. You lot stuck on each other. Kind of looks like it. Passengers are just funny in this game. There's a bit of breakdancing going on there. Good to see. Reviving the ancient practice. Kenny says the only thing keeping him from moving to Australia is spiders. He hates spiders. I would love to have one of them Holden utes. Holden's gone now, mate. That brand died. What we mostly have now is Toyotas, Nissans. There's still a few Fords floating around, but not many. Lots of Chinese brands like MG, BYD, Chery. We've got Indian brands like Tata and Haval. Like the way they are allowed to make their building over the road, but not over the train. Lots of brakes. All of them. I'll take that. Where can we watch this one depart from? Here on the bridge. Why not? This would be a fairly good rail fan spot, actually. Apart from those bloody lights that are right in your way for decent videos. Benjamin's brain in a jar says, typical, it didn't start raining until I was sat in the station at the end of my run on the second playthrough. Sounds normal. Can't hear the horn from here. What? I've seen some pixels move. It is moving. Hey, golden ticket. How are you? Kenny says, really? I did not know. I placed a racing game based in Australia called Forza Horizon 3, and one of the cars you get is a Holden Ute. Yeah, they certainly... Well, they're still around, but you just can't buy them anymore. Because the brand died. We still have Chevys. There's plenty of Beetles floating around the place. Look at the cars popping in just at the point where you can see them before they start driving off. Wow, look at that building. That's an interesting lot issue, that one. There we go. It's turning back into a building now. Owners of that building clearly negotiated better with the powers that be. No worries, golden ticket. You know my streams, you can do whatever you want. Pretty relaxed. Uberk says, what's he stopped all the way down there for? Yes, stopping on a freeway is never a great idea. Chase to Fox says the Holdens are being kept as collector's items. They are indeed. It's hardly worth speeding up, given that we've got another 60 coming up from some corners. So we won't bother. Kenny says our Chevy cars are based off the Holden, the Camaro. Yep, the engine came from a Holden. Yeah, indeed. It was all GM. Must be some terrible bogey hunting going on there for it to shake like this. No, you can't trust any of them. Cruising along. Coming into Boston Landing. It's an interesting station, this one. No, I should probably stop, I suppose. Oh, can't resist this. There's a route map to be had that easily. Or not. No, it's not. Okay. Do you know one thing I haven't seen is any of the socks? There's a smiley face poster. Get your LSD here. Is that a poo? I think that's a poo on the platform. Great. We go up here? There. Does the elevator work? It does. Better go back to our train, huh? Come on, elevator, you're meant to be quicker. Oh, you are coming. Good. Beep. Should time just right, just as the brakes finish releasing, it should go. Oh, I locked the wrong ones, damn. I unlocked the right doors. That's how smart I am. Alright, off we go. Kenny says that's a poorly rendered turd. Yes. Anyone think you're in San Francisco? Turds on the footpath. Good night, Michael. Oh, it's you, Burke. Sorry. Good night, you, Burke. Heading to Lansdowne. Weather is certainly fining up, that's for certain. This will probably be the last run. I did have one more planned, but I think this is running out of time, really. Thought I heard thunder in the game then, but no, it's just someone romping around upstairs here. We're getting into the high-speed section now. Yeah, they're both MBTA routes, Kenny. Boston Sprinter and Boston Commuter. The only reason the other one's called Boston Sprinter is because it has the 46s and the Acela. Lansdowne coming up. A few hitches there. Here's our frame rate. It's not too bad. It's sitting on 60. I've got it set for 60 for streaming. Because running at odd variations, less is okay because you get extra frames, but more is bad because you drop frames and it looks jerky. I do often watch people who are playing a game and they're playing at 140, 150 FPS and they're streaming out at 30 or 60 and it's like, you're just throwing away frames. Welcome to Lansdowne. Anyone my age remembers what these posters were for. Anyone else? No. I wonder if we can drive with the door open. I haven't tried. We should. Bit breezy, maybe. That would appear to be a yes. You can drive with the doors open. Fantastic. No, no, you can't. You sneaky train. Heading into the great land of the marathon. The Acela's quite good, Kenny. So it's quite well implemented. And he says he's only 25 and he knows what the posters mean. Yep. Bad Kenny. We have an approach. Approach or approach medium? Where's Cactus Juice when you need him? Could be gratuitous bridge shot. Not you can. I suppose it is a bridge. So we slowly roll our way towards Boston Back Bay. It's a little cartoony, this bit. It's not the level of realism that we've been getting used to lately from TSW. Kenny says he doesn't dwell on that kind of thing, he's just street smart. Fair enough. New York Texas Railroad says you can drive with the door open in the CT5 cab car. You can drive with all the doors open in the CT5 cars. Yeah, I've reported that. I'm kind of surprised that got out, to be honest. Simulator guy is driving a Boston-bound service on MBTA Commuter. It's very good. This looks suitably old and decrepit. Great. No, we're outside again. Not going to be able to go on the external cam to watch this one come in. Yeah, most of the diesels will let you drive with the doors open. Some of the German ones won't. So if I go out, because this is the other station. We're under the world. There it is. No, that's the other station. That's the one from Boston Commuter. Boston Sprinter, rather. I always wonder what's down here. Nothing! The world just kind of ends. And that's third rail, too. What's down there that's third rail? Someone must know. And what would be up here but doesn't actually exist? Because we're round over here somewhere. I think round on this side is our train. There it is there. Oh, I did it wrong once again. I did. Not clever. Come on, lock them up. They're taking their time. There we go. New York Texas Railroad says it's kind of protocol with the conductors. It's very often you see a door still open when the train is leaving a station with MBTA, Amtrak in New Jersey. Yeah, the one where the train's being managed from. Yeah, we have a slow. I'm assuming that other track over there is a part of some subway network or something. Kenny says, I have the hardest time driving some of the UK or German locos. Too sophisticated. Wait till you see the new one, the Class 87. Slide around to Boston South, and when we get there, that'll be the last thing for this stream today. I will see people on Wednesday, and I think, as Aidan asked for in the vertical chat, we might just do that as a route request thing. High speed running at its absolute best here. Might get away with this, we'll see. Nah. New York Texas Railroad says the track's in the middle of the Orange Line subway. Fair enough. Bad guy says, I'm back. We're only allowed to do 10 mile an hour now. I'm doing 3, of course. Oh, I got an overspeed. Max Schulman in the vertical says, would you recommend MBTA Commuter? I don't mind it, to be honest. I like services where there's lots to do, lots of starting, lots of stopping. So yeah, I think I'd quite happily do this. It's got a couple of bugs that I'm sure will get patched. It hasn't had a first patch yet, so I dare say that will come soon. It's got enough busyness and variety to be interesting. To get the freight, you do need to own rather a lot of DLCs to get any freight at all, so be aware of that. I might just go and find that list for you. MBTA Commuter and freight options. Is that the one I wanted? No, that's not the article I want. Where is it? Where's the article? I'm not finding the article right now, but it's a lot of DLC that you need to have the freight. Bad guy had to make some dinner and run to the store, and it's pouring rain, so that was fun. Yeah, I could see that. You use some flippers and a snorkel and a wetsuit. That wet, huh? Welcome to Boston, folks. It's time for the explosive festival of the Boston Marathon. Is it too early for that joke? Probably. I was wondering if it was going to clip on that pillar. It just misses it. Really just missing it, I think. It's so close. The slightest bit of rock and roll going through there, it would smash windows, that pillar. Kenny says it looks as dull as dreary as the real Boston. Spot on. Yep. That be life. That'll do. Get our doors open. Beelzebub off. Get you to handle off. It's probably going to quit before I get a chance to do this. Headlights as well. Knuckle lights. It's going to kick me out. There we go. Didn't quite get it set up. A gold medal. I don't think I've seen a platinum on this route, actually. That's interesting. But I did have to turn off one of my safety systems because it's got a bug. That's boring, but that's okay. I will report the things that I saw as I was driving along there, and we'll see if they get addressed. Hopefully they would. And that's it for this one. I think next Wednesday I will go with Aiden's request, and we'll do a route and service by request. So I'll start one, and I'll seek out what people want to do from there, and we'll do that. Alrighty, have fun, folks. And Kenny's new motto is objective failure, life. Yep, sounds normal. Alright, enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much for watching and joining in as always. Always appreciate having the chat and the people being around. Always good, makes playing the game much more fun. So, see you on Wednesday, folks. Enjoy. Actually, then, I'll leave it at that. See you on Wednesday. Bye now. Bye.